Okay. I think now we're okay. Uh,
Okay, can you hear me well? I can hear you.
okay, I can hear you also. Uh, Let me check. Check. Ok. Iskra, ¿nos escuchas?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Um, Let me ask you again um, of the type, the US type versus the European type and the Hong Kong type.
Okay. Okay,
Sorry.
okay. And I start again for that one, right? I forgot what I talked.
Okay.
What I talked before. But yes, I try again, okay, for the American type. Okay, we start now, right?
Yes.
Well, for the American type, all my childs at the beginning was from the American bloodline, and also import the American champion. At that time, when I was starting research on the show type of chows and everything, almost I start with the American, and I traced Chow life and Chow Chow report, which is 70s, 80s, and something like that. And I learned more about the pedigrees on all over the American chows. And I saw so many um, pictures and some videos from the American Dog Show, and I heard about the Westminster Kennel Club, and then almost all the people in Hong Kong they always talk about the American Westminster and how great the dog it is, and the show and it's amazing and something like that. So when I was taking research and at that time and everything almost in my mindset is American. And also, but when I go further and deeper in the dog show, and also I know about the craft shows and English chows at that time, and I also study a lot about the English chows, and I got a book, the World of Chow Chows, and then I know more about the chows in Europe. Um, and actually the Charles from America was coming from Europe and English Charles also, and
Yes.
it impressed me a lot. It impressed me a lot, and I have well, it's something like a shifting, not changing. It's a shift from here to here, and that was about after 5 years and I keeping the show Charles, and then I start to have some idea, but of course American Charles affects me a lot, and so that's at the beginning, and then I asked myself and I said I one day I have to go to the Westminster at that time at the very beginning, and then I went to the dog shows in America and I saw the show Charles there, and that's my very first and went to America when I thought I was ready to go and I want to see there. Well, it's quite different from here and at that time. Now it's easier, the Facebook and the internet. You can take a lot of research easier. At that time, my first is quite funny. My first import champion Chows from America is from fax. It's a fax paper. And before that is we use telex. We use telex from the telex telex company, and we went there and take the text to America. And, I want to buy a Charles, and well, it's quite it's unbelievable at that time. And then and at the early 90s, and we have the fax machine, and we saw it, a black and white picture, almost black, almost black. And I said, wow, it's so beautiful. And it's actually is a black image. And wow, the legs is that big. The head is like that. Only something like that. And then we imported Charles from America in 1993 at that time. No internet, nothing, but a fax machine. And then I tried to contact them, and I went to the very famous bookstore in Hong Kong, and I found some magazine, and I tried to call them. Well, that's old story, it's very old time, and then totally different now. You can face to all over the world. You can see the Charles on time and at well, totally different. Well, so going back to the American type, I was grown with American Chows. So
Okay.
my concept is American Chows at the beginning. And after some years, I said, just as I said, oh, I found some more about Gruff and about the English Chows and the European Chows, and I got book of 12 Chow Chows, and I saw the Dutch, the Holland Chows. Wow, it's amazing. And I saw two smooth, a picture of a smooth Chows that I can't believe, wow, it's so beautiful, and it's elegant, and it's not no more like a lion for the smooth. And it just looked like, wow, it's a wow. You can't go and touch them, but you have to respect them. That's
Yes.
feeling. That's feeling. And that's why I have a smooth Charles at 1996, my first smooth, but also import from America. Well, going back to the type, the break type, is it many people ask me about how about the American Chows, and how about the European Chows, and how about the Asian Chows and
Yes.
FCI, something like that. Well, first of all, I found that the standard is almost the same, almost, just a bit different, just a bit different. Well, people said the standard is different, but for me, as a grader, as a judge, and as an exhibitors, I think the interpretation of the standard is more important than the written words there. Just
Okay.
a few words about head, or about the coat, or about the proportion. The proportion almost the same, but the height a bit different. But so how you interpret in Europe, England, or American is the most important, that they make the different type. American people, they have their idea about Charles. So most of the breeder will go that way.
Yes.
While the English people, the UK Charles there, they have their idea, their idea about the Charles, and they keep for a long time that they do not change so much on the break time. And they have the peak time about the 60 and the 70. They have the peak time at that time. They almost ruling the world. They affect the whole world about the Charles. And they still keep at that time for the standard. I think they believe that type is the best for the Charles. I'm sorry, that's my that's what I think. That's what I thought.
Okay. Yes.
I cannot represent them to talk about it, but my idea is how they how they think about Charles and how they read about Charles. So the English people, hi, good to see you. Okay, how the readers think about Charles, and then how they present their Charles in the show. So the American people, they have their thinking, they have their idea about Charles, and then they produce that type, almost. And then, is it the judges affect them to doing that way, or they affect the judges who manipulate who? Is is a is a chicken and eggs question. So
Okay.
I think most of the people think this way, and then they will go this way. Most of the people think that way, they will go in that. Um, I myself, I myself, I was grown up by American Chows, and of course they affect me a lot. And of course they have a lot of respectable breeders, and I learn a lot from them. Also, I study in European, and I learn a lot of things from Europe, and um, they affect me a lot too. And it should be respect for every culture, and you make a balance for yourself. That means as just make an example. If you are a student, you study in America, you have to learn that the best thing over there. And if you are if you go you finish the study in America, you go to other place to learn. Why you go there to learn? Because you think that there's something different, and you will
Yes.
get something more from there. Then after some years, and you digest everything, and you will have yourself for your presentation over there. And when I went to show in my child's in Europe, my first showing was Belgium, in Belgium, and it's almost about, I forgot, it's 16 years ago. 16 years ago, I went to Europe and showed my first child with the American type. Of course, it knocked on the wall.
Yeah,
Five
because
out of the five. Five out of the five. Well, I came back, and then I sit down and I think um, I have to digest why. And at that time I saw a lot of different childs there, and they're different. They're different, and if of course, and if they most, I think about 80% of that childs in Europe going to American, they won't finish champion easy. Won't easy. Same,
okay.
I brought an American bloodline child over Europe, and I boom, it doesn't mean it is not good, and that is not good. It means we have different culture, we have different idea of the dogs. So I at that time I start to change myself, and I learn more, and I study more on different uh, bloodlines, why they're picking like that, and why they're showing like that. Um, I actually at that time I stopped, and then I found that well, something quite nice in the Europe, and something quite nice in America. And then how can I uh, absorb everything? And then I start myself. So uh, I said I will be back. I will be back at that time. I truly I talked to myself. I said, okay, I will be back. I will be back. And then I start again in uh, 2012 to the World Show. And I brought another uh, puppy that I was showing. And he was the father of Pilot. And
Okay.
he's quite European type. And that's much better, much better. And I remember was about 20 child at that time, and he got a second. Of course, if I were the judge, I would give him the first place. But of course, I am there at the judging and I'm there at the show. But it um, it proved me, it proved my opinion and idea that yes, I'm going to the correct way in Europe. But that dog, that puppy, when he get about 5 months later, he went to American and he finished champion, just like that, very easy.
Yes.
So for me, I think no break time, no break time.
Okay.
The break time is here. The break time is here. How you can breed a child that is um, agreed by most of the people is my destination. That means a nice child, a beautiful, beautiful child should be accepted by everyone, not America, not only America, not only Europe,
Okay.
not only Asia.
Yes.
It's you know it's a culture and it's a kind of knowledge that you express and it's a kind of art. It's a life art. How to present your idea in the dog, your mindset and your everything in the dog. That is it convince everyone to believe that you wow, that's a very nice dog. Wow, that's a very beautiful one. So I tried this way. Um, and I put all kinds of elements. Elements means the essential elements for breeding. It's
Okay.
very difficult to explain about essential elements, you know. Well, there's a lot of books writing about how to get winning easy, that break time, the summers and the grooming and something like the conditions like that. And but how you put every essential elements into a child, into one dog, and then you can present to the whole world that is amazing. It's almost an icon for Charles.
Yes.
Then this what I try to do now. This is my destination. So back to the break time. Do not put a fixed things in your here. And then if you fix a type here, then you cannot go forward. Don't.
Yes.
Don't.
Okay.
And people, my friends and some people ask me, so what is a good child? I can't say. What is um, the best child in my mind? No, it doesn't. It doesn't appear at the earth now. So I can't tell you. But how and how many animals? I don't know. Until I think I found something that is, oh my God, I must have these things into the dogs. For the past 2 or 3 years, I always think about that. And what else I have to put into the breeding? What else have to put into our breed, our lovely breed?
Yes.
That can not only for Charles. I talked to my the very best friend Michael Bradley and Linda Bradley. I said, I that's more than 10 years ago. I talked to them. I said, do not concentrate on the breed only. Do not. Our breed is getting downwards and downwards in all breed.
Yes.
No matter the numbers and no matter the ranking for the group and for the all breed, we are getting downwards. We have to put our breed in all breed, not only the breed ranking. The breed, oh, we are number one and we won the what. It's weird. Actually, we are downgrading in the dog world.
Yes.
So we have to concern more about our breed. How we are getting down. Why we are getting down? What factors that makes makes us to be getting lower and lower at the time. That's what I concern. I can make that's quite far away, and then I can make a on the ground example. I was showing one of my child in an Econova show in the the biggest show in America in 2014 or 15, and he won the break. He won the break. And when he was showing at the group, he was showing at the group, and he
And
was too excited, too
you're
happy.
talking about pilot, right?
Please don't talk about the names.
Okay, sorry.
Yes, I was talking about that, but I don't want to mention the name because I don't.
Okay, sorry.
Thank you. Okay, try again. Okay, at that time I was showing, not me, Michael was showing him, and he was too excited, too happy, and he was jumping and he was jumping in the ring, and uh, for the final, for the last ring, and then he was neglected by the judge. He was neglected by the judge. The judge was fair, very familiar with Charles, and she was good for Charles too.
Yes.
But after the show, I was talking to Michael. How come the Charles should be like a dum dum? How come? How come? Why the poodles can fly like that? Can run in the ring and it's a non-sporting group? Please, remind all the people that it's a non-sporting group. Okay.
Yes.
If in the group that just want a showmanship, the group most of the judges prefer great showmanship dogs for the best in show or for the group judging. But our child cannot be happy, can't be very dignity to walk over there and very happy with the judge and very happy to the handler. We can't. Okay, please put a dum dum group, which is a dummy group, and we can put the bulldogs, we can put the chows, and we can put something like that. No, together. Then don't put it to the running group, right? So I was quite quite thinking about that, and I want to name a dog. I told my friends and I talked to our teams that okay, next time I will name a dog that not even a cat, even magic, not even a cat. Then I remind myself that how come? Okay, okay, judges manipulate us or the breeders can change the judge's idea. That is what I want to go back. And then, as I said, and I said, huh, if the child's a dignity and they're very proudful and they're happy in the ring, why? It should be a credit. It's not a debit, right?
Right.
So I think the child people are very agree with me, but not the judges. Okay, it's just no, you can't run, you can't move faster. No, it's not me. It's the child himself to move faster. Okay, he's not running, but he just behaved very happy, very happy. I must put this point into my brain. I remind myself, I keep on this. I keep my child to be very happy, and I always said that they are very silly. They are very silly. No, they are very happy in the way.
Yes.
They're happy to play with you. They're happy to play with other childs around, and they are happy to to judged by the judges. And
Yes.
this is this character that I have to put into uh, my brain
Okay.
rather than just say, come on, dummy class, dum dum class. No, I don't think it's a good show dog for me. And it is, I don't know, it is a standard or actually it's a preference. I think it's a preference for the judges. Now I want to change that kind of preference for the judges. My idea. A child should be dignity and very proudful and very happy in the ring. See, it's the spotlight. Everyone should look at it. And then next year he won the good one. And wow,
Yes.
it proved. And we were very happy, and of course, the handler Michael did a great job. And that's broken the history of the Econova and the AKC National, the first child that won the group rather than the poodles. Is it the poodles that perfect in the standard? They always win over all non-sporting dogs. Are they that bad? Are all the breeds are that bad? Or the judges want a showmanship dog? So showmanship should add into our breed. That's what I think at the time. I
Okay.
remind myself all the time, not even a cut for our good chance. So I don't want to talk about the names, sorry. But that's my idea.
Okay.
Is it okay for uh, what I thought was like that?
Okay.
And going back to the breed type again, um, I agree. I agree with uh, the judges in Europe. I agree, and they have something that they always put the breed type always come first. But the American dogs, beside the breed types, they always looking for soundness. Soundness means confirmation. Confirmation. Confirmation is for me myself as a breeder is an experienced breeder. I call myself experienced. Sorry, maybe some other my mentors are not agree. I'm still learning. But confirmation that means the body and the structure. Uh, it needs at least 5 generations to correct the confirmation. But the head, the child's head, I just need 2 generations to correct it. Easy for me. So in the breeding, in breeding, we're going back to talk about our job, breeding. Is the confirmation is more difficult than the head.
Yes,
That
of
means the
course.
breed type. So which one is more important for me at at the moment? Um, I think both, but which one is more difficult for me to do it is, I believe confirmation are very difficult for me. How does the confirmation change? The standard rule that very correctly is should be a square, should be a square.
Yes.
I travel a lot. I travel a lot to see many dog shows and many show chows and many big shows in the world. I travel a lot, and I found they are almost none for me. They are almost none for square, for a perfect square. Most
Almost
of them
none.
are
Okay.
almost none. Truly, you can measure by measurement or uh, by instrument to measure them. Almost none. Until these 2 years, then breeders concerned more about the square, the squareness. They are more concerned. And I brought another quite square one for me. Quite square one is to show in the Russian, the Russian.
Okay.
It's a very square dog, and it's a big one, which is bigger than most of the American dogs. And by measurement, it's 21 inches by shoulder height.
Yes.
So 21 inches, um, which is out of the standard in American. The American standard is 20 inches,
20. Yes.
and
But
he
but
is 21.
but is in the standard for the FCI.
Yes, yes, yes. And I won the break. I won the break in Russia, um, and he got the final cut for the last 5 dogs, and in the group, the last 5, I got the good 5. The judge gave me 5. I was so sad. I was very happy after that, and he's quite very square for me. And but of course, the breed type is not ideal for me. But the breed type, the head is not ideal, but the body is changed a lot from the American the Chows. And I present the American Chows again back to the World Dog Show, which is now is the biggest show in the world.
Yes.
And it's as I said, I will be back, and then after 4 years, I go back to the Russian to Europe and show under European judges, and it's more and more and more better for the show result for me in Europe. And I won the world show first time. I won the world show, and then so I brought this dog to Trump for the next year for the a few months later in England, and then he was the final cut only for me. So you know, so the FCI judges and the English judges and the American judges still have different idea, and then that means I was doing wrong in some way. Then I cannot convince most of the judges in the world. Some judges like my charts. Some judges accept my charts. Some judges think my chart is good, but is very important, but missing something.
Okay.
That encouraged me to do more, and then I am still working on it. What I want to do is I want to create a child that the American, FCI, Asian, and um, English judges can agree with my work. Um, that's that's what I'm doing now, and so I, in my mindset, I believe that the breed type is not in America or in Europe. It's in yourself, in your mindset. You
Okay.
make them, you can breed a top dog, then you can convince the whole world. Then we are helping our breed. That's what I think. That's
Okay.
what I think.
Okay.
So is it okay for the breed time?
Yes. Perfectly.
Thank you. I'm trying to explain, but well, it's not. It's my third tongue, the third language for English. It's not that good. Sorry.
Okay. Now it's perfectly. Um,
Thank you.
what are the issues that the breed is facing right now? What's the biggest issue in the breed?
You mean the difficulty for the breeders?
Yes.
The
Yes.
difficulties?
Yes.
Okay. Uh, we need help. We need help. We need the kennel cops to help. We need the mother parents club help. We need well, first of all, and I talk to my friends and students in here in Hong Kong and China. Many actually breeding is a very impressive work and job. But I told them if you want to be a full time breeder, then you full time means all the income and all the expenses you have to put from your breeding, nothing else. And
Okay.
you are not from your father, you are not from your family, and you are not from other business.
Okay.
If it's full time breeder, that means you have to everything your input and output are from the child and from your breeding or from your kennel. And some other other friends they have the boarding kennel that brought some other dogs outside and help the kennels. That is not a full time breed.
Yes.
That is a part time breeders. If you have jobs, you have other jobs to work with your child and then the jobs get some income there, and then it's part time only. I mean full time. I mean full time. That means only nothing else. Then you have to concern very very much that is it available for you to support the whole kennel and hope to support your whole business. And well, I can't use business. It's not fair for business. I
Yes.
I can use your to support your art, to support your job.
Okay.
Just like the artist or painter, and pianist, if you can be a full-time artist, that means you are all the incomes by your sell by your painting and then support you go forward. So that's the difficulties for our breeders now, and it's very expensive for everything, very expensive, even the dog shells.
Yes.
And is it you're selling your dogs can survive? I can honestly tell you it's not, unless unless uh, you cheat. So I don't want to talk about it. It's not the correct way. I can say it's very, very, very difficult and to support yourself. If you find something to support, and then um, I, I I I was doing teaching. I was doing grooming schools and to support my breeding. I did a lot of work to support my breeding and my dream. So I'm now is not full time. So if you are not full time, then your job will be slowed down, and then your concentration can be diluted by other things. Then your work will slow down again.
Okay.
Our
Yes.
rate will slow down. That's first. This is very difficult for us. The second is the new people to come in is getting less and less. The new people means the new child lovers, the owners, they are getting not as much as before, and they're getting less and less people get into our breed. That harms our work, and that harms to the breeds too. Many wrong idea, many wrong concept on our breed. They are aggressive. They bite people. They have problem dogs, and they have and 10 years ago and 20 years ago they mix with the Sharpei. They create a lot of dead heavy chows, and
Yes.
they
Yes.
have a lot of problem. They um, they destroy our breed. They destroy it. And our reputation, our breed's reputation is getting very down
Yes.
in most of the countries. And uh, the education and the propagation um, and knowledge is too narrow in our breed. That also the difficulties to promote our breeds and to help the breeders. So actually, the breeders need more help, need more help, and uh, too many. Oh no, it's fine. I welcome them to come in. Maybe 100 people, and 2 years later, just two lives here, and then another 100 come, and then two stay. Then I welcome them. So if more and more people to come in into our grids, then it helps many things. And when I was judging in some places like Europe, and uh, some child tried to bite me for the from the exhibitors. They are young, they're new, they just don't know how to control the dogs. And my assistant at that time told me that, Matthew, you can excuse them. I said no. If I excuse them this year, they won't come back next year. They are new beginners for dog shows. I said, just try to encourage them, educate them how to control a child. And at last, and then I can touch and I can go through a strange child that is out of control. And if I help the exhibitors, and he knows what's wrong with his dog, what's wrong with his handling. And next year he came with four childs.
Okay.
And so but I will ask much more for the professional. If you are not doing correct, then I will excuse you.
Yes.
That means I push the professional more to be more professional, and I help the beginners to be encourage them to come in. And I hope more and more people can do that. More and more judges can think about, oh, this one is maybe this grade. I can encourage more. and I can help the breed more. But not, I'm not trying to affect the judge's mindset. Uh, I try to convince that the breed is getting less and less people concerned because they get wrong information. They can they can talk to the exhibitors after the show, and you should doing like that. Your child has what kind of problem you can help it uh, with some help. Let's encourage. Don't say no, then get out, and then the exhibitors will never come back again. I just want to convince them, just helping our brains more.
Okay. What advice,
Okay.
the advice for the one who is starting with the breed?
Um, that means some newcomers to come, and then what advice I should give them, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Uh, ask, ask the mentor. That is best, the best breeders in your country. Ask them. Don't ask your friend, your golden retriever friend, or the border collie friend. Don't ask the professional. You can. It's very convenient for us to talk to some people through Facebook or just find the parents club just in your country. Ask them, and then they will give. Remind you the best breeder, the best one. Don't ask someone that just walk around in the ring and then you ask them. No, ask the best one that you can find the best one. When I was very young, when I was not very young, when I was at the beginning of the show, I learned from a judge, and he told me that I asked him how can I find a good dog. He told me that go to the dog show, the biggest dog show, and you find the winning, or the one that you really like. Take his clothes hat, the back of the coat, take it.
Okay.
Ask, please, please, I want a dog from you, please, and teach me. If he said no, and then go keep on asking. A week, a day, a day, a day, a day. Keep email, keep calling. He will surely like you. That's my word. That's true. That's true. If
Yes.
you just, oh, your dog is great, I want one. He will, okay, send me an email or send me something. No, keep on asking. Keep on asking.
Okay.
Then this is a very good start. Do not just open a magazine and oh this dog is nice. No, don't. Go to the dog show and see what they are doing and learn from the professional, the best one, the best one.
Okay. Who are your mentors?
Oh, a lot, a lot, a lot. Paul, you know, Paul. I always said Paul is my all-time idol. That I like him a lot.
From Mipau's kennel, from the
Yes,
people
yes, yeah.
who is listening to us.
Minnie and Paul.
Yes, yes.
Well, it's quite interesting that I don't have one of their dogs. I don't for many years. I don't. But when first meeting for him and me, he went to Hong Kong, and it's about 1990 something. 1990 is about 25 years ago, I think. 25 or 28, I forgot. I took a picture and he signed his name for me.
Okay.
And we talked for 4 hours. We talked about Charles for after the dinner. I talked to him and until he felt very tired. Yes, that's what I said. Just pulls on him and talk and ask.
Yes, yes, yes.
That's 30 years ago. Okay, and then he affected me a lot, not by that conversation. I read many articles and many papers from him, and he affected me a lot from Charles, and especially the theory, the breeding theory, to cream or not to cream.
Yes.
That the paper that was quite 20 years ago, and I have creams, and maybe some days I show my creams in Facebook, but there's 25 years ago, 22 to 25 years ago.
Okay.
And yes, for the breeding, uh, he instinct and he stimulate a lot the idea and the concept for breeding. And I admire Paul and Lily a lot. Whenever I saw them, a big hug and a big hug and a kiss must do for them, and I respect them a lot. Also, Love and Bob, and my first foundation from Love was in Hong Kong. Is their dogs is Macintosh, the English dog from England, and then they bred this dog and a river one Sing Mac, and then went to Taiwan, and then went to Hong Kong, and it's almost the first foundation in the late of 80s. It's
Okay.
about yes, it's about 30 something years ago, and they are very sincere about Charles. They have many things, and that should be asked for, and they should be come out and sit down and talk to the child people and teach them more. And they, of course, they wrote a lot of books, and then you
Yes.
can see many books, and some other, well, a lot, quite a lot, quite a lot. I have many mentors, and I, well, not only in Charles. Honestly, if you want to do your works perfectly, or not perfectly, more, you can do your work more. You should be three-dimension to learn about handling, about the training, and then about the nutrition, about the food, and about everything, everything about the dogs. I learned handling my child. It's not from child breeders. It should be a golden retriever. And
Okay.
I, well, my advice is go go outside more to see more and learn more from the other breeds. Learn more from the other breeds, especially the toy group. They have many things that can put into our child. I learned from David Fitzpatrick and the Pekingese, and I went
Mm-hmm.
to his home, his house, and then learned the grooming, and then I sometimes I put the Pekingese idea into the child's. They are also Chinese breed. They have the coat is double coat, and a lot of things that's similar. And I learned Shih Tzu. I learned the Shih Tzu from Thailand, and I showed Shih Tzu too, and how to keep the coat, and how to not let them to break the code, and you can put it on into the charms also, and so a lot of things. How the golden retriever people to keep the codes in hot summertime and same as you how can
Mm-hmm.
you keep the child's code in the hot summertime, and that's you can learn a lot from the other breeds.
Yes.
So for me, uh, many mentors, many.
Okay.
And dog is the very first mentor for me. I learned from dogs. They can tell me the truth. What I'm getting right, what I'm getting wrong, they will honestly tell. Of course, uh, so many good breeders and great people. I learned a lot, and I also have advice, a suggestion that ask the judge. You can talk to the judge. Don't think that they are uh, very away from you. Don't. They are not. They are not. Ask them. Ask them why. What um, what opinion they have.
I
What
think
opinion they have.
most
Yeah.
of the judges want to help you if you ask.
Yes. Exactly. Ask them why. Don't ask them why I win. You ask them why I lose. What opinion that you don't like my dogs? No,
Okay.
don't be should be polite, should be very polite. I first thing you want to present is how can I improve my showing? How can I improve my showing? Not breathing, not handling. How can I improve my showing? Is the dog have any problem that I don't know? Please teach me more. Most of the judges like to talk to you.
Okay.
Don't talk by the, the ringside. Ringside ringside gossip is not helpful for your
For
showing.
anybody.
Ringside talking and gossip is to let you to let go only. You can have ringside ringside talking. Just let go and be happy and be fun in the
Yeah.
ring. But you want to improve the other side. Ask the judge and ask the winner. Ask the winner. Ask the who won the break, who won the group. Ask them. Wow, how can you keep your dogs like that? How can you keep the coat like that? How can you? Oh, how can he so behave in the ring?
Yes.
They
That's
are willing to
important.
tell you.
Yeah.
Ask the success people. Don't ask the you are getting the fourth, I get the fifth, and then oh my God, how can we lose? Now
Okay.
just for fun is ringside is just for let go and fun only. Then forget it in 2 minutes, and then okay, happy again to go back and then learn next time. I learned from losing. All top handlers and all top breeders, they lose more than us. Must. It's a must. They all learn from losing. All,
Sure.
believe me.
Sure. In life also.
Yeah, that's my advice for improving for showing and breeding also.
Okay. Do you have a favorite dog? A favorite Chow Chow?
Many.
Okay.
well, well, I in Chinese, I taught my students that for breeding they have different stages.
Okay.
That's true. If the breeders and if some days and I can write about this, I can share my experience. The beginning of the for the breedings, the beginning stage. I have five stages
Okay.
for breeding. The first one is let me think about the English. Jing, jing, jing means to enter, to enter, to enter. The first stage. The second stage, jing ling ling 是 duplicate, duplicate. The second stage is duplicate.
Okay.
The third, 就 no, qing, qing. To eliminate. The third stage is to eliminate. The fourth stage is to purify. The
Okay.
last stage to create. That's for your whole life. People, it depends on how the knowledge they get and how much they think about the breed, and then they can they can go through the different stage. Like kung fu, they have different levels.
Yes. Yes.
You go through it, you can break through this stage, then you can go to the other way. And for for most of the people at the beginning is oh, I like Chow. They come into the Chow breeds. Sorry, is it okay?
Yes. Yes. No. Okay.
Okay. The first stage is they come into the breed and they want to buy dogs. They want to buy dogs, and while they buy dogs and then they start breeding and then they buy dogs, they start showing and then they buy dogs, they have pets, and then they go into the breeding and then they found that they are not good enough. Then they buy again because okay, your first import chows or first buying chows, and then you love them, but it is not perfect for you when you're going further and then you buy another one, you buy another one, you buy another one. you think it's not good enough, and you search, you're taking searching from the whole world, and then I like this one because he always wins. And then is it the perfect one? No. Then okay, until you import a lot of chows from different category, from different countries, and then you start to breed and duplicate. You resemble because your knowledge is, I like this one. I really like this one, and then I try this bloodline and then resemble to duplicate and then to breed like this one, like them, and you did some um, line breeding or outcrossing or just even inbreeding because you like that dog. If you're going around this dog
Yes.
for breeding, that's going around, and then suddenly find that it's not my it's after 10 years and oh my god, what I were doing totally cannot approach to what I want. Then you start again. So many people will get back to the early stage after 10 years, and then is it true? Is it true? Um, and then some new people that they are lucky, they are very lucky. They buy a very nice one and then they show, and then you are 10 years experienced breeder and you're always showing, and then lose to him. Oh my god! Oh my god! That's always happened in our world. Don't don't compare to other people. No, it's a lot of things to overcome that problem. A lot. You need a lot of things. I can't explain here because it's a philosophy. It's a philosophy of breeding. And then after you go on and then you try another 10 years and then you go on. You found that, yes, I'm doing correctly. And then keep on doing, keep on doing. You find style,
Yes.
your style. And no matter you come out or not, you that your dog going by other owner, going by other handlers, they come, it's Matthew's dog, or it's your dog.
Yes.
If it can say by themselves, then you have your style, your signature on the dogs. That means you're doing wrong. You're doing correct.
Correct. Yes.
You have your own way. But don't make it, this limping dog is yours. This ugly dog is yours. No. But if you have your signature in your dog, that means you have your style. As a breeder, you must have your style. You must have your something that you think inside your dog. Then start. Okay, at that time you have the third stage, and then you have to eliminate the other. That uh, out of your style. That is not your style in your breeding. You just cut
Okay.
until every breeding is purified. Until every breeding is purified, that your concept and your mindset is inside your breeding.
Yes.
Then it's the fourth stage. And then the fifth one is very, very difficult, is to create. Create means never happened in our breeds before. There's a great breeder. There's a great breeder that create. I can't say any names in our breed, but I can say some people in the breeds, in the other breeds. I mean, like Igarashi-san, that means a Japanese. He changed the Pomeranian. He changed at least half of the world. Half of the world, they have the uh, uh, Hikari, uh, Hartley style,
Ah.
Hartley style. That means that it's totally different from American dogs and the European Pomeranian.
Yeah.
They have the Japanese style, which is very beautiful, like an arch. The eyes present, the nose present just like it. a painting. Wow, what did he do? What did he do to the breed for his whole life? He changed the breed into what he wanted to present. And this is a great breeder. No matter some people say, oh, I don't like this type, or I don't like this style. Well, he create. As an artist, as a life artist, a breeder, you have to have imagination. Your life is going into the breed. That means, okay, what I think in my breed is like that. It's going, adding different elements into the breeds, adding different elements. Okay, at the end, your final breedings or final products that you create is never happened before in the world. That means you did something in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Okay.
breeding. That's breeding. That's a live art. So that's the final stage for me to interpret about breeders. We have to um, put into a different stage. And just a newcomer that came here and said, oh, I am a breeder. I just have Charles for 1 year and I won over you. Okay, you're great. But don't compare it. You have to your mindset. If you are correct, and then if you are wrong, then start again for 15 years again. If you have another 15 years, that's life. That's our life. That's our life.
Okay.
Going outside to see the whole world. Going outside. Don't just staying in America. Don't just staying in England. Don't just staying in Hong Kong or China. Have to go through and see. Wow, the world. That's the world. And then putting more idea and learn more from other breeders and learn more from other chows and putting into yourself and digest it and then to to help the breed and to help yourself and to help the breeding. Um, that's very important. That's very, very important.
Yes. Have a full view of the breed. Um,
Yeah.
you judge in mostly in Hong Kong, but also in the US and Europe. Which show do you enjoy most? Judging a lot.
uh, don't blame on me. Don't blame on me. I didn't enjoy judging. I am not enjoying judging. That's my friends and my mentors always ask me, why? Okay, come on, Nathan, why? I said, oh, if Paul and Michael was showing under me, what should I do? Looking at it, it's very simple. There was just judging the dog. No, come on, don't set that easy. No, uh, judging, judging means you share your experience. You
Right.
have your knowledge to see what dogs in front of you to present for, and your understanding about them, and then you think the best one, the best one. Uh, the most Charles that I was judging that was in Italy, 2014, and it's about 180 dogs, which is great, which is great for me. And honestly, I can honest to myself, I like the one that he was losing. The one that I most like, and he was losing. I was so upset. I thought uh, before I went to Italy, before I didn't talk to the breeder, and I didn't. This is the first time that expressed myself at that time. And I talked to myself. Oh, great! I can see it by myself this time. I can. I can watch him in person this time. I really like that dog. Really, really like. And actually, I want my best female, the best female to breed to bred to her. Sorry, to bred to him. I It's always in my mind. And when I was there, and he was totally don't have conditions, no conditions, very thin and loose, out of coat, and quite weak for me as a show dog. It's not strong enough. It's uh, powerful like a dog. It's like a powerful male child. And he was not. And I was so upset. I was really upset. I praised him in the champion class for the second place. That I really, so I struggle a lot. I struggle a lot at that time. Oh my God. I said, how can I put the best one that I really like one to the second place? What I was doing, I was struggling at that. And after the show, I went to the breeder and I talked to her and said, what happened? I'm really, really sad about him. And she told me that the dog was having a surgery 2 months ago.
Oh, okay.
The heavy surgery. And why she brought him to the show? Because she wanted me to see it in person. Well, I really appreciate to her. And I was so upset. So, is it for judging? Is it the one that you really like? I can I can say is um, the the appropriate one to win at that time. It's not the really you really would like the most one you like in your mind. It's not. So I didn't quite enjoy. And another example is also at the same show. I saw a very typey, very very beautiful child, also in the champion class. And he was very nice too, but the pigmentation for the tongue was fade away. I believe he was perfect when he was younger, and when he got older, some child's pigmentation will fade away from the tongue. Maybe the bloodline has some sediment or some blue or something behind. I don't know. I didn't study. He was very impressed to me, and he should be a best in show dog in orbit show, very typey, but he has a pink pigments on the tongue, and I was so surprised, and I asked my assistant why he is in the champion class for this condition, but everything is almost correct to me, almost very nice, and I struggle a lot. I didn't excuse him. If I judge should be excusing it. He is a champion, but I really like him. And I just place him at the rear, but I didn't excuse him. So for a judge is a judge is a judge. The judge is like, cut. You're wrong. You're right. You're wrong. You're right. But here in your mind, because we are human, too many things inside. Until now, I am still not very enjoying judging. I'm not, but I like judging. I like judging. But I'm for breeding, for showing, breeding, and judging. I like breeding first, and then showing second, and then judging. Then I'm not refuse judging. I refuse some orbit judges. I refuse several orbit judging assignment. I refuse. I said no. I'm still too active in the rain. I'm not suitable for judging for orbit. But I enjoy for the specialty.
Okay, really you'd rather to be in a specialty. Yes, I understand that.
Yes. So I enjoy breeding much, and then showing, and then judging. The judging is not a fair thing. It's not that really a judging. It's not a fair thing for winning and losing chows. So it's not the winner set is balance, overall balance. But as a grader, I like the loser one more.
Okay.
So that is that is.
Okay. Um, you're planning to attend the U.S. Nationals this year in September?
Uh, if the country, if the American allowed Chinese people to go, I really want to go.
Yeah, sure.
No, Donald, President Trump.
That will be important.
I
Yes.
don't know. I don't know. I miss them. I miss my friends in America. I miss them all, and I miss the dog. And oh, and it's in Niagara Falls, and I didn't go before. I talked to my friend. I asked them to come together, and because I said if this time I don't go, then I think I won't go there for the rest of my life for the Niagara Falls. So please, please. I was so sad, and I
and
reserved
and
the
uh,
ticket.
and
I
Mi Paus Canal is really really near.
Yes, yes, yes. This is the other point, and I want to visit that.
Yeah.
And Paul talked to me, and if you don't come, and then you won't come for some years later. Paul, this is Paul. I really like it. And Billy and
You've
Paul.
never been in the Mi Paus Canal.
No, no, no,
Okay.
no, no, no. You know why? Oh, it's quite many stories. um, I have a female that was the number one and won the national. I want to bring her to postdoc, and that was winter. And I talked to Millie. She's welcomed me to go, but the dogs cannot go into the room because they have no more rooms, and it's minus 20 degrees Celsius, minus 20 to 30
Yeah.
degrees Celsius at that time at night. And how can my dog to survive? And I asked them to, okay, come on, the frozen, any semen? No, no semen. Any frozen semen? No, I don't. We don't have a good wet here. We don't. We just make it fresh and then you can use it. So no frozen, no semen shipping, minus 30 outside, and then so I can't. It's very funny. I really like them. Really, really like them. They are very deserve to be respected.
Yes. Yes. Totally.
Yeah.
Is Granada, who contact you, is with us in the video conference. Maybe she have some questions for you.
You mean insert?
Is Granada,
No.
who
Oh,
contact
okay.
you?
My fine. Uh, uh, I don't know anything. Okay, my friend asked you if have you recommendation of genetics? Okay. Did you have a preference of something for genetics? Because we want to know about inbreeding. Okay. Can you think about it? How much? Because in Mexico is how to say not a problem, or anybody most people make a lot of inbreeding. They want to know how you think about inbreeding, and if you have a preference, favorite book or something where I read about genetics. Okay, okay. Let me try to talk about your question. Is it you're asking about genetic, right? And your friends want to know more about genetics. And is there any books talking about genetics?
Yes.
For dogs? And, yeah, I'm reading. Yes. Okay. Well, it's quite a question. It's not a good question. It's a really question, you know. Okay. Uh, simply say, genetic. Yes, my background, my education background is a medical technologist. I studied genetics sometimes, and when I was in college, and um, is it help? Yes, it helped at the beginning. It helped at the beginning. Talking about genetics, genetics is a great topic. You know, many people and many professor inside. And okay, genetics in dogs, narrower, not all the genetics in dogs, and simple genetics in dogs, complicated genetics in dogs, and application the genetics in dogs. Okay, step by step. Simple genetics, I think many people are using. Many people are using. They are using um, uh, the outcrossing, the line breeding, or even the inbreeding. The genetics, they have the coefficient of inbreeding, COI, and they calculate how many inbreeding in your dogs. It's a reference. It's a reference for yourself to see the pedigree, and then you use it for breeding. This is simply genetic. That's the simply genetic. You can use anywhere. 3 to 3, the third generation cross the third generation, and the third cross the second. The borderline is the third cross the second, and which is the same. Oh, I cannot explain by words. I need to write it down. But the borderline, the line for me is inbreeding and line breeding is 3 to 3 generation. The first generation to second generation. Is my mindset is that line. Okay. I didn't do the 2 to 2. I didn't do the same parents and same sire. I did it. I tried once, but it's not success. They appear some deaf. They can't hear. One dog, one puppy that he cannot hear. Okay, this is the simple genetic. The simple genetic. You can read the pedigree, and then you can study the COI, and then you can try the 3 to 3, 3 to 2, 2 to 3, and 2 to 2 even. You can try. And everything, almost every method I have tried before, I used before in my grading. So, okay, get into the complicated genetic. The second stage. This is a simple one. Okay, the complicated. Okay. First, for genetic, what elements, what foundation doctrine or foundation bench you have? If she has some genetical problem inside, you never know. If she has or he has, then no matter you use 3 to 3, 3 to 2, or 2 to 3, the line that duplicate over him or over her is wrong. It's totally wrong. So actually, for complicated genetics means you have to study the every individual for yourself. Every individual means this dog, can I use 3 to 3 or 3 to 2 or foundation, or even just trying to put something in? Or this bitch, if she has something that I really don't like, or genetically problem or disease inside. Or talking about disease is seriously. That means she has a serious problem. Talking about something that you don't like is a minor fault. In the complicated genetic, you have to understand every dog, every bitches that you are using. That's very complicated. And then I use the genetic method for breeding this one. If he is almost ideal, but I remind you, no ideal dog in the world. There is no ideal, almost perfect one in the world. No, none. Then what you are doing, you have to eliminate. Remember the status I told you
Yes.
about 20 minutes ago. You have to eliminate, and sometimes you have to blind. I know he has some fault, but I still using him because he has some goodness on the breeding. What I want to put and what I want to minus, what I want to take away, what I want to put inside and what I want to take away is the art. That's the genetic that you are using. That's why I said it's a science, art, and scientific art is our work, is our job. So you know the science more, you know the medical for the dogs more, and it's more advantage for you. But after you, no one can teach you. No mentors, only two. One is God, the other is
Yes.
dog. The other is dog. Only God and dog can tell you because whenever you try your breeding and then the product, the puppies, they come out and will tell you, no, you're wrong. Yes, you do something right, but out of 10 breedings, you may make one correct breedings. That in, oh my God, I got it.
Yeah.
So very, very difficult for the complicated genetic. For the complicated genetic. Okay, at the end, the last stage for the genetic is you want to control the genetic. Control the genetic. Well, it's very funny to control the genetic. What do you mean by control? I know everything for my stuff, so my stats and for my speeches, and I understand every part of them, and I can control. Well, as I said, Igarashi the Pomeranian breeder, he can know this male to that female, even the pigmentation, even the coat. Here is what kind of coat, and here will present lighter coat, and here has some dark coat before the breeding, before the puppy was born. He understands, he can control almost everything if I do this to this before the breeding. Then
Okay.
you are part of God and you are part of dog. You mix with them, and then you become a dog if you are top breeder. Then yeah, that's the very complicated genetics as I want, as I said. And then you understand about many things in your breed. You understand even the very detailed, very fine part, even the nails color, even the pad color, and even everything's very small part, you can control it in your breeding. And then, well, that's genetic. Also is genetic, but it's very complicated.
Yeah.
So, well, if your friend wants to start with genetic, he or she can have a lot of books talking about the genetics, and but it's the beginning. But it's the beginning, the simple one, the simplest. And then they have they teach you about the coefficient of inbreeding, how to calculate, and then the parents, the grandparents, and the great grandparents how to make the breeding and make the line breeding. But they didn't teach you what happened for your individual parents, what's limitations from him, what shortage, what strong points in him. And then I add up, and subtract, eliminate.
Okay.
I don't want this for many generations. Then it disappeared. once in several generation later, fourth generation later, I will not find any problem on eyes or ear setting. Every part, every single part, you have to learn. It's complicated. Simply, you can use simple genetic. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. As a personal ask, my dogs not want to have a baby.
Okay.
It's difficult normally in the shows the reader have time to fit.
Well, that means you just want a puppy. So you want breeding. You want mating. You want mating for your
Yes.
Female. You want a mating for your female. You want them to naturally to have. That means a male come in or they and the mating they did by themselves. Well, for nowadays, it's 95% of the childs cannot do natural themselves if you don't help them. I myself, I help them, and then I did natural about 50 to 60% are natural for my dogs, and then fresh chill is very convenient, but you have to have some technique for fresh chill because during the mating process, the female has some different they behave for more percentage of pregnant. So you have to learn about some technique to let them to be more easier to be pregnant. You can read a book called Canal Reproduction. In my book, Shelter, Canal Reproduction. That was almost 30 years ago, 40 years ago. The book is the older books can be the better one. The older books they talk more. The newer books only photos. It's about reproduction and mating.
Okay, you have a great percentage of natural breeding. You know.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I hope it's not boring. Breeding is quite boring.
I have other how the most you like in Chow Chow. When I see my first Chow Chow, I fall in love with looking the character of the Chow Chow. And then he loves it, but at the same time, no with overuse. Then for you, what is more important in the Chow Chow? How you can say, okay, I I really love the breed because this. What do you think you make love the Chow Chow?
First of all, they're Chinese breed. I was born in Hong Kong, China when I lived as a country boy, and they're Chinese breed. They're natural for us. They're natural. They at that time there are almost no pure breed, no other breeds, no other import dogs until the English people. They are ruling Hong Kong at the time. They took some pure breed from England to Hong Kong. They shipped at the time. They shipped for several months from England to Hong Kong. But honestly, at that time, they took away our breeds more than from England to Hong Kong. About 100 years ago to 80 to 100 years ago, they took a lot of Chinese breed from Hong Kong to England at that time. And but they also brought several sorry, but they also brought several pure breeds like the terriers and like some other breeds that never happened in Hong Kong. And so at that time, 50 years ago or 60 years ago, we don't have pure breed for us. But the original Shake and some long coat Shake, like it's not a Sharpei because they don't have fold skin. And the long coat Chinese breed is what we call a Chow nowadays, and the original one. So well, I grew with him. I grew with them together, so I really like them. And also, they look like a lion. When I know Song Si means it's a lion. It's a lion. Then when I was getting to be a teenager, and I heard about some people have chows. Then I traveled for 4 hours from here and some place that don't have transportation and even walk for 2 hours. I want to go to see there. And when I was a teenager and when I was a schoolboy, I carry my bag and then whenever I know where they have shoppings or they have chows, and I will run and before I go to school and after the school ends and I run and then the first purebred chows that I saw is 1983, 1983. That I was a college boy and I studied I every day I go through that store, the owner of the store and said they, he has a child. He has a child. He had a child and the child was pregnant and the child was pregnant and I every day I went there and asked, well, does she have a puppy yet? Every day. And then ask him, that's it. And then once I didn't find the owner at that morning. And then I went to school again. And then next day I came back and he was there. And oh, I didn't sleep last night. And then the puppies came out for 4 puppies. And two is black and two is red. And he told me, and oh my God, I quit the school at that day. I quit that day, and then I helped them to littering the litters and then help them to placing the mother with the milk, and I survived me. I still helping, and then that was the very beginning that I really wanted purebred chows at that time. So it's 80s and at the 80s. It's very long time ago, 40 years almost. So I like the Chow Chow because they are together. I was born with them in China, Hong Kong, and then I like the lion, and then the first lion mother I was littering them. And well, I can't quit with them until now. So I keep on loving them for many years, for many years. Well, between these years, I have many other breeds. I learned many other breeds, and then because I have to be an all-breed judge, and then I need to learn more about different breeds, and I keep some other breeds for helping me to learn more about chows. That's what I said. The Pekingese, the Shih Tzus, and even the Golden Retriever and the Doberman and the Sharpei and many other breeds I have. But not for long, not for breeding, not for breeding. I always said I'm not the breeders of Shih Tzu. I have some puppies and I keep on Shih Tzu for 20 years already, but I'm not a breeder for Shih Tzu. I didn't invest all my time in that breed. I said I'm a breeder for chows, but not other breeds. But I learned from other breeds.
Okay,
That is.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Can you show us some of your trophies behind you?
Some of what?
Your trophies behind you.
Trophies means what? Sorry.
Your
Trophies.
trophies. Yeah, behind you.
Oh, the trophies. That
The-
means the
yes.
winning trophies.
Yes.
Oh, okay. um, okay. Oh, wait. I like this one. I try. I try to put more. This one is when I was showing about I forgot how many years, 15 years ago, I think 15 years ago. In China, I have a trophy. It's like that. It's a called a chi sha pot teapot.
Oh, for the
It's
team,
a
yeah.
handmade. It's a handmade and it's like the best in show, and then writing.
Yeah.
What shows there is handmade, only one, and I got two. I got two handmades, and then that's really like one, and the other one I won quite a lot of shows. I I won. I have something like that I really like. I won the breeder of the year for 7 times. 7 times.
Wow.
Breeder of the years, and I show you here. That is 2006.
Okay.
2006 and something I forgot how many years, but well, quite a years. Top breeder of the years. 2007.
Okay.
Okay, and quite many this recent years, 5 more. So I did not have many trophies putting together because most of them I sent to the owners. I like this one. This is quite big. This is quite big one, and he was the trophy that first consecutively. That means fourth best in shows.
Okay.
And who won the first 4 best in shows. Then we get the whole trophies, and I have I like, of course, I like this one. This is
Of
the
course.
national. That's the national in American 2008, and wow, this is very important for me. The first 101 year for the non-American people who can win this show. The
Okay.
first time for non-American people who won the national. And one more I like is last year I won the World of Show. I can show you, and this is the trophies too. And I also like this trophy. This one, the World Show one. It's very heavy.
Oh.
It's very heavy. It's a Pekingese, but I won the Chow. They have this trophy for the World of Show, and then it's very heavy. It's like the king in the empire in the last in many years ago. They have to chop. They have to stand to chop it
Yeah.
for the king.
Okay.
And it makes like that. It's a Chinese breed, a Pekingese, and we won the best of breed. And then yeah, I like this trophy too.
Okay.
And, well, quite a lot. And oh, one more I really like. That's the non-sporting Group 1 for the AKC National. And just like the Wimbledon tennis, and I really like one. And I have several for the this trophy, and I won the group second, group third, and the group two group third, and one group second. Oh, sorry. Yes, I have these trophies. Yes, several.
Okay.
I really like the American National and the Econova show before. We call it Econova,
Yes.
but now they changed into the the AKC National. So I like that. They are big shows and they are nice, very nice trophies.
Okay. Thank
Is
you.
it nice?
Yes,
Is it
very
nice?
nice.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Well,
Thanks for working.
Well, I think if we have we have chance to talk some other topics later or in the future, if no more complaints for me that talk too much or so boring,
no.
then we can talk about some grooming or handling or dog shows for our chows. And today is talking about breeding.
Yeah.
And yeah, if the audience and the friends are not complaining me, and then I'm yes, I'm willing to. I would like to talk about more about groomings um, and dog shows.
Okay, we can talk about grooming next time. We schedule the meeting for that. Okay.
Yeah.
And
And
well,
I think it's very important you are handler and owner
Yeah.
because that's for me very very nice and very important because I think so you can the owner has a special connection with us because if you don't, then I think
Well,
it's difficult because you spoil it to them sometimes. That's helpful, but I think you have a lot of experience with the owner and handler. And if you later you want to give the other interview for us, it's a pleasure and honor because you are one of the best breeders for the world for the Chow Chow. And we know you love the Chow.
Well, yes. What I can say something about owner handler. Owner handler. Well, most of our dogs are spoiled, are too spoiled for showing, and they won't behave with you if you are owner handler. And it's quite hard. It's not easy. It's not easy to be an owner handler. Uh, of course, there are some really nice owner handler. They did great jobs. But for some advice for the owner handler, if you want to be an owner handler to your child to show, then normally at home you can't to be too spoiled for them. Uh, our childs, our childs are quite stubborn. I can use the word stubborn, but they are not stubborn. They have their mindset. They are very clever, and people said they are stupid and they are stubborn. No, they are not. They are smart and they are clever because they have something inside. Some dogs are very smart and easy to learn from people because they don't have things inside. They are easy to learn from you.
yeah.
But our childs have something inside. So what things inside before the rain because they every day they learn from you. What you did to them is they put inside already. So if the dogs are with you and then you are spoiled with them, they won't follow. They won't. They won't do what you want in the rain easy. And ha- and that's one. The second one is except America. Except America, they have a lot of shows. They have a lot of shows and almost all every weekend. In many countries, they don't have a lot of shows. And if if the dog's not often going to the show ring, they will forget what they learned. You have to practice more every day, just like a straight, a forward and backward, or a triangle, or a circle. And they don't jump to other childs if they see the strange child. They don't want to play with them. They need to obedience with you. It's very important. But if they have every week they have 2 or 3 shows, it's very easy. But they have 2 months, one show, and then one show you want him to be a best in show. That's you have a problem, not him. So if you want him to be the best in show, and you have to practice more and practice more. And training is very important for them. And they will they have a strong mindset, very strong mindset. You have to change that mindset by different environment, uh, different dogs together. Not only you and him will be fine. But if he meets some other dogs, some other breeds, they may out of control. So practice, practice with other dogs, practice with different environments, practice with different handlers. They can handle by some other people. If they can handle by some other people, then that means they can be touched and they can be judged by the judges. So they can go through by many people. So it's um, you want to train, you need a proper training, a really proper training. Not only just walk with them, everyday walk with them. They will just think, oh, mom, we go and walk. No, show is not a walk. Show is a show. You can teach him a lot, but remind yourself to practice and practice and keep practice. That's what I learned from America. Michael taught me.
Okay.
I was spoiled by dogs too. I was.
I'm sorry so much. That's my problem.
Yes, I
I
can feel it.
also
You
love
love
my
your
dog.
child a lot.
I'm not gonna avoid. I'm not gonna avoid it. It's so cute. It's so good
Yeah,
dog.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
try to be fast.
Keep this feeling. Keep this feeling and show it to the judge. They are so cute. They are so lovely. Keep this feeling and express your dogs and express yourself to the judge. Let them feel our childs are cute. Our childs are lovely. They are not dumb dumb. They are not dummy. And they are very lovely. Keep this, yes. Feel easy, feel what to say, pretend that you're very enjoy. Of course, you are enjoying the show. Pretending is very important in the dog show and handling. Well, let's talk in the later
Okay.
about handling.
Okay. Uh, Thank you so much. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for your
Thank
time.
you, thank you,
And
thank you, thank you, and hope to see everyone in the future.
yes,
Yes, and feel free to have time. You write us. You say when you have time. And my other.
Okay, 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 okay. We'll
Well,
keep
thank you.
contact. We'll keep contact.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
okay,
a pleasure.
okay. See you, see you.
thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Goodbye.
you so much. Thank you. See you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.